So, what's the difference between therapy and coaching? I have heard some folks say that therapy is really you're working on stuff in the past. You're going into the past and you're digging stuff up and you're working around in there and blaming your family or your mother a lot. And then those same folks say that coaching is really looking forward and that's your drive toward, being this positive, happy, goal-oriented person. And while generally I would say there's nothing particularly wrong with those statements, I do think that in therapy, depending on the kind of therapy that you're in, there certainly is a drive toward healing and wholeness and future focus as well. That certainly has its place in therapy. What I would say is that therapy and coaching are two pieces of the same puzzle, a much bigger puzzle. They are absolutely interrelated. I think their foundations can be pretty similar depending on the goals that you have. And however, I would say that if you're looking to work on unresolved trauma, certainly therapy is the place to do that. If you're having an acute mood episode from a chronic mental illness, again, therapy is probably the most appropriate place for you. Certainly, if you're learning coping skills for the first time, if you've recently had suicidal behavior, things like that, those mental illness, mental health type management type issues, therapy would be a great place to do those things. And coaching, it is more future focused. You're not going to go back in your past so much. There's a little kind of your own personal exploration of thought patterns that have been holding you back and things like that. But for the most part, you're future focused. You are moving toward goals. You're having homework every time. You are in the driver's seat, and it's much more structured perhaps than a therapeutic relationship necessarily needs to be. But I would say that they both do need goals. They both need a way of measuring what you are hiring the coach or the therapist to do, getting on the same page, and then having a way to measure and look at those outcomes. Have I achieved this in the amount of time that I wanted to achieve? Things like that. So I approach both counseling and coaching from the foundation of that what the evidence tells us is that we really do, as human beings, have an internal drive toward healing. We have a wisdom within us, even if we don't know that we have the wisdom. That sounds a little woo at first, but what I can tell you is that it's evidence-based, that all woo was woo, or all science, rather, was woo before it was science, before we figured out why those things worked. So that internal drive toward healing is the foundation from which I start all therapeutic and coaching relationships. Hopefully that clears up the differences a little bit and kind of lets you in on some of the similarities. If you're still confused about what it is that you need right now, what's appropriate for the goals that you have for yourself, see some checklists down below for transformational psychotherapy and mindful empowerment coaching. And if you're still confused after that, please don't hesitate to contact me. Let me know what goals you're looking at working on. Or if you don't have a goal really fleshed out, that's okay too, because therapists and coaches can help flesh out goals for you. So give me a little information about what it is that you're seeking therapy or seeking coaching about, and I might be able to kind of help you suss out if therapy is right for you right now or if it's coaching.